Hello class, welcome to MKLI Digital School where we dive important parts, important and crucial part are tips from examiners. Tips from examiners. What actually examiners want when answering mathematics. So first of all, let me welcome you to my class. Also, let me welcome you to MKLI Digital School. So we are going to dive the tips from examiners and how examiner actually want you to put answer. Remember, every exam test it usually tests instructions, and the way you follow the instructions matters a lot. As a student, you are required to follow the instruction precisely for you to score marks and for you to get a good grade. Remember that mathematics is in center of a career wheel. Even if you look the candidate last year 2024 COPS placement, you could see a student scored a B plus, mean grade of B plus, B plane, and after applying a good course, they will not give that student because he failed math. So mathematics is crucial subject. And take care of how you put your answer, my friends. So welcome to mathematics paper 1, and the code for mathematics paper 1 is 121.1. The paper mainly tests concepts taught in Form 1 and Form 2. So mathematics paper 1 usually tests the concept in Form 1 and Form 2, and a little concept in Form 3 and Form 4 that has relationship in Form 1 and Form 2. Section 1 contains 50 compulsory short answers, questions of not more than 4 marks each. So for section 1 you can get 1 marks, 2 marks, 3 marks, and at most 4 marks. Section 2, it contains 50 marks also, but it contains 8 questions of each 10 marks, where a candidate answers any five that candidate needs according to his or her own choice. And when we are talking about paper 1, section 2, it is important for a candidate to choose question wisely. The candidate should attempt simpler question first, then graduate to complex one later. So first of all, you have to do the questions, the question that you can and you are able to do, the simple one, then graduate to the complex one later, and you will be able to do. So make sure that don't do a question for more than 5 minutes. Avoid cancelling your work in section 1. We will look at it, the effect of the cancellation of section of your work at section 1. You will look at it. Follow the specific instruction in every question when presenting the answers, especially number of significant figures and also the decimal places. Significant figure, that's why when I was starting I told you that exam is all about instruction and following the instructions. So if an examiner require you to give a question answer for 3 significant figure and you give for 2 significant figure, you will not score, you will score 0 mark. and if examiner require 4 decimal places and you give 1 decimal place or 2 decimal places, you will also not score mark. In your calculation, always work with minimum of 4 significant figure. Always work with a minimum of 4 significant figure. This is for usually for normal exam, because I know Kcse usually they must give you the amount of significant figure and decimal places. But if not, just work for minimum of 4 significant figure. Show all the steps in calculation to avoid losing marks unnecessarily. Remember that answer it only gives you 1 marks. Steps are more important than answer even. So show the every step to avoid losing unnecessary marks. For calculation, I'm evolving constant, e.g. use of pi or r and are not given. Kama hujapewa, use those provided in the mathematical table or calculator. In case you are not given, just use the one that you are given in mathematical table or calculators. Distribution of marks over the past 6 years. This is for usually Form 3 and Form 4. Look at this. I was telling you that Form 3 and Form 4 work doesn't matter a lot for paper 1. What matters for paper 1 is for you to know Form 1 and Form 2 work. Look at this. In 2024 Kcse, Section 1 only contained 9 marks of Form 3 and Form 4, and only 3 questions for Section 2 for Form 3 and Form 4. 2023 11 marks, 2 questions. 2022 December, because 2022 there were 2 Kcse, 3 marks, 2 questions. 2022 March, 3 marks, 3 questions. 2021 0 marks, 1 question, and 2019 7 marks, 3 questions. So from the observation above, Form 3 and Form 4, there are only 4 areas that is tested. Number 1 is matrices. Number 2 is sine and cosine rule. And number 3 is differentiation. Number 4 is area of approximation. So let's start with number 1. Nimekwambia avoid cancellation of work in section 1. For example, this question, these are normal question that usually comes in paper 1. These are exchange rates. A Kenyan bank buys and sells foreign currencies as shown below. Sterling pound umepewa. Swali sasa imekuuliza nini? Calculate the nearest rand, the amount he obtained. So look at this student, student A. Student A alifanya vizuri and he knows what to do. He knows what he is doing and alifanya vizuri sana. So student A alipata. Student B alifanya hivi, anza ya kwanza, anza ya pili. So and he cancels. So the moment the student alicancel, si amecancel, he will not score this marks. He will not score this mark. Kwa sababu gani? Because alicancel swali lilikuwa right, angalia. Alicancel swali lilikuwa right na akaandika swali lilikuwa wrong. So to avoid it, what will you do? You will do as what student C do. Look at this student C. Student C akafanya ya kwanza, tena akafanya ya pili. So it is up to the examiner, the person that's marking your paper, to find the correct answer. So wewe usije commit avoidable mistakes ambaye. So in case of any error, ukiona tu yani swali sometimes swali ni za kupeleka in dilemma stage. So wewe andika tu the solution ambayo unadhani, the 2 solution or 3 solution or 4 solution that unadhani iko right, andika tu. So it is up to the examiner to find the right answer na atakumakia. So avoid commit yourself into wrong, avoid missing marks for cancelling the right answer. Not cancelling attempted not needed work in section 2. Student A. For example, section B, it has 8 questions, and out of 8 questions, you need to answer only 5. For example, if a student answer all the question, na tujui hata mimi sijui jamaa alipata aje time ya kufanya hizo zote. So if a student right answers all the question, only the first 5 is considered, and the following 3 is considered as EQ answers. EQ means extra question. He answers the extra question. So look at this. So huyu jamaa amepata 10 marks, 9 marks, 10 marks, 10 marks, yote atakosa. Kwa sababu gani? Because amefanya yote. So the student end up scoring 21 marks instead of 44 marks if he could cancel question 17 ambayo alipata 4, question 18 ambayo alipata 0, and question 20 ambayo alipata 2. Kama student angecancel angepata 44 marks, na ni marks mingi sana, almost half of what he scored now. So the student end up scoring 21 marks. So make sure that if you answer all the question and you see that 24 you can score yote, 23 you can score yote, 22 you can score yote, hii unaweza cancel tu, na una cancel na only one line. Please and please, you can always cancel with only one line. Student, look at student B. Student B hata kufanya na 17 kufanya vizuri. Huyu sasa ndo anajua sana nini wise decision, amechukua wise decision. 17 kufanya, 18 kufanya, 20 kufanya. So aliongezea sasa hii marks yake na akapata 44 marks, which is very good marks for paper for section 2 because alikuwa only 6. Using a scale not provided. These are occasion by failure to interpret the scale provided, the candidate is booked for misread and loses 2 marks. For example, kama swali ilikuwa section A na ilikuwa na 4 marks, ukilose 2 marks, 2 marks is a lot of marks. Ama ilikuwa na 3 marks, ukilose 2 marks you will get only 1 marks. So you must interpret the scale very well. For example, look at this question. The corner of ABC using a scale of 1 is to 100,000. We send the information on the scale provided. So look at this question. The corner point A, B, C, and D of a range are such that B is 8 km directly east of A. B is directly east of A. C is so B inatoka from A. Haya, and 6C is 6 km from B, and B inatoka from C. Haya, so iko tied question iko tied. For example, one ukimistake tu moja tu kama iko correct, hizo zingine zote zitakuwa correct. Look at this. Correct location of point B utascore base 1. Correct location of C utascore. Correct location of D utascore. Complete quadrilateral utascore 1 marks. That's a 4 marks. But if the location of B is not correct, the candidate loses all the marks. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu the moment you misplace the point B, you also misplace the point C, you also misplace the point D, and you lose all the marks like that. When we are dealing with nothings must be parallel, nothing must be parallel, so lazima zikuwe nini? Parallel. For example, sometimes there's a scenario where they can slide like this, inakuwa slanted like this, so lazima zikuwe nini? Lazima zikuwe tu parallel, haina shida. So hii iko acceptable, also this is acceptable. What's not acceptable ni gani? This is not acceptable because this is not parallel. Hizi zinaweza kutana. So bearing can be given in terms of number in 3 ways. Number 1, through bearing, and through bearing it must have 3 digits. So if it is less than 100, give 0 in front. If it is 100, it is okay because it's also 100, 200, 300 up to 900. It is 3 figure, and the bearing can never be more than that. Compass bearing is iko na south na west, iko na compass directions. Also direction due east, you can give that way. Not being keen on specific instruction in every question when presenting the answer. For example, swali imetuliza nini? To the nearest rand. So ukikwambia to the nearest rand ama to the nearest shilling, inamaanisha nini? Inamaanisha swali haitaki mambo ya point. Look at this student A. Student A alifanya vizuri na alipata answer. Good. Look at student B. Alipata na akapatiana answer in decimal places. So mtu atakosa 1 marks. So kitu kidogo tu isikufanye u lose marks, because hizi one marks kidogo kidogo tu ikiongeza inakuwa mingi na utaanguka vibaya sana. So look at this premature approximation also. Premature approximation inamaanisha nini? For example, calculate correct to 1 decimal places the area of triangle ABC below, given that AB is equals to 12 and ABC is 80 degree and angle ACB is 30 degree. So look at this student A. Student A alifanya tu vizuri. 12 over sin 70, AB over sin 30. Alichukua first significant figure hapa, akachukua tu exact figures hapa akaweka na akapata answer. Good. Huyu amepata. Tukwende student B. Look at this. Student B akachukua mpaka hapa. Amepata 1 marks. Wakati amefika hapa akachukua nini? Aka round off. Aka round off to 2 decimal places. 2 decimal places. So answer atapata answer. Good. Answer atapata. Hii pia atapata. Hii pia atapata. Lakini hapa akipata atakuwa na 1 minus 1. Kwa sababu gani? Because hakuweka the exact figures hapa. So that's known as premature approximation. Yani you approximated your figure before it reached before it matured. Before it matured. That's the exact word. So hapa umepata 1 minus 1. Sasa itakuwa 0. So you will get 2 marks only. So hizi vitu error kidogo kidogo you have to avoid. Look at this student pia. Huyu hata akafanya nini? 6.4. Pia huyu atakosa. Huyu sasa atakosa kitu mbili because huyu amefanya kitu mbili, unaona? Atakosa hapa 1 minus 1 which is 0 na hapa atakosa 0. So atapata only 1 marks. So hii premature approximation vile ina cost I think umeona. So don't do that premature approximation. Just chukua tu vile value yako vile imekutokea na uweke tu answer. And after that answer yako sasa ndio ita depend sasa if you, for example, swali lilikuwa linatuuliza nini? Swali lilikuwa linatuuliza correct 1 decimal places. After umepata answer sasa follow the instructions sasa. Just enter to correct 1 decimal places na utapata the answer. Omitting evidence of the use of board mass in evaluating integers and a fraction. Hii swali usually inakuwa number 1 na watoto wakiona huwa kila mtu hata mtu, even if the student is poor on mathematics, they usually runs to it, but you will fail terribly, my friend, if you don't follow the instruction and you omit the uses of the board mass. So how do you use the board mass sasa then? Student A, look at this student A. Alifanya 2 minus 13 plus 5 minus 70 divided by 5 is equals to 22. Huyu pia 9 minus 14 times negative 3 divided by 21 is equals to 11. So huyu mwanafunzi ako right. Hapa answer iko right, answer iko right na answer iko right. Lakini mwanafunzi hakuna kitu atapata, atakosa yote. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu swali imeuliza nini? Without using calculator. So from our observation size vile sisi tunaona student aliweka tu hivi na akaweka calculator. So mimi na assume hivyo. Even if umetumia board mass yako kando, the examiner will assume like that. So and you will never score. So how do? You have to follow the steps of the board mass. Look at this. Minus 13 plus 5 minus 14. Minus 14 natoka aje? Natoka hapa. 70 divided by 5 because board mass bracket off, hakuna off division, sio? So 70 divided by 5 14. Sasa student aliweka 14 hapa. So you follow step by step. After that, meaning that how do the examiner know that you follow the board mass step? We know by if a student takes one sign at a time. For example, umeanza na division, that's one sign at a time for the first one. Then you take the plus. After that, you come for the minus. Then unaenda hivyo. So you will get the, look at this, the answers they are the same, but the way they put is different. Leaving answers in a simplified form. Look at this. Huyu mwanafunzi alipata answer ni 5 over 3. 5 over 3. Let me type 5 over 3. 5 over 3, which is equals to 1 whole number 2 over 3 if I'm wrong. So iko hivyo. So student alifanya hivyo, amepata M1 A1 method 1 alipata na accuracy akapata. So huyu mwanafunzi sasa atakuwa amefanya vizuri. So usiwahi acha answer yako kama iko simplified You have to simplify it, please and please. Look at this student, aliacha 5/3. Ukiacha 5/3, you will not score. You will lose 1 marks here. Rounding off in errors and approximation. The area bounded by a curve is estimated as 21 cm using the trapezium rule. If the exact area by integration is 21 and 1/3 cm squared, calculate the percentage error in the estimation. So mwanafunzi student A alifanya vizuri na akapata nini? Akachukua tulisema nini? 4 significant figure. 1 2 3 4, then ama akachange nini? Akachange to fraction. And I usually advise my student for mathematics you can use either decimal or fraction. Lakini nakwambia, I usually advise my student that to take the fraction one. Please use fraction. Wachana hii decimal itakusumbua. Just use fraction one. 1 whole number 9/16. And hivyo tu. For decimal place I advise my student of physics watumie nini? Watumie hiyo decimal. Lakini mathematics in case kitu inakupatia point, wewe jaribu tu unless swali kuambia nini 1 decimal places, unajua that time you have to show the decimal places. Lakini kama swali saizi inakupatia tu mambo ya fraction, just to change to fraction. Look at this student, I'll reduce. The moment you reduce, you score nothing. So because it is not acceptable kwa sababu gani? These also hii sasa vile umereduce ndio introduce another error. So hakuna kitu inasaidia. Use of protector in geometric construction. For example, when a protector is used instead of prescribed procedure of the angle construction, the candidate loses 1 marks. For example, there are this question usually inakuja construction of angle of 130, angle of 60 degrees, 75 degrees without using protractor. So na hiyo kitu ni kitu inajulikana haraka sana kama mwanafunzi ametumia nini? Kama mwanafunzi ametumia protractor or ametumia compass, tunaweza jua. So kama mwanafunzi angefaa atumie compass na ametumia protractor, so huyu mwanafunzi ata lose nini? Ata lose 1 marks menasona is deducted. So missing evidence of factorization when simplifying composite numbers. Look at this is a composite number. Without using calculator or a mathematical table, evaluate. So this is a composite number. So unajua most of the students wanatumia hii method. Wanaenda hivi tu. So mwanafunzi akiandika hivi atakosa. Lakini you have to show your evidence. This is evidence that factorization hii 7 49 771 umeenda hivi kila number. One ndio umeenda. So this is evidence of factorization of the composite numbers. So ukionyesha hii utapata max. Na utapata na ukionyesha tu hii, sasa examiner ataangalia sasa hii side kama umepata. Lakini kama hujaonyesha hivi, examiner ataweka tu x na ataenda. Because there is no evidence. Tutaona examiner ataona tu kama umetumia calculator. Pi given in the question. Example, kama swali imekupatia pi, take pi as 3.14 or pi as 3.142, just stick with it. Take unaweza kuambia take ama sometimes unaweza kuambia nini use. So look at this student A. Student A alifanya kila kitu na ametumia nini? Ametumia 3.142. So amefuata instruction. Look at this student B. Student B ametoa tu pi yake kutoka his own pocket na akatumia 22/7. Na instruction ilikuwa nini? Use 3.142. So sasa hapa ina depend na examiner. Examiner anaweza kumakia, anaweza fuata tu 22/7 yako na kumakia answer yako correct ama akuwekee wrong. So to avoid hiyo two dilemma of the examiner, we just follow the instruction please. Use of the term hence. Swali imetumia hence. Look at the word that is before. For example, look at this. Construct a triangle ABC in which AB 8.5 cm, angle ABC is 67.50 degrees and angle BAC is 450. Draw a perpendicular from C to meet AB at point D, measure AD. Hence calculate the area of the triangle ABC. So examiner anataka nini? Umechora triangle sio? So you have to draw the perpendicular. So examiner anataka utumie hii perpendicular yako to calculate the triangle, the area of triangle. Look at this. Mwanafunzi amecalculate vizuri na amechora vizuri na amechukua nini perpendicular yake ni hiyo. So you have to use a half AB times a half times B times height. So look at student A. So ametumia half times base times height na akapata. So he follow the instruction. Look at student B. Amejifanya anajua mathematics, ametumia nini? A half AB sin theta. You will not score marks my friend. Kwa sababu gani? Why don't you score marks? You don't score marks because the examiner was asking draw a perpendicular from C to meet AP. So why does he asking you? So first of all amekwambia nini tena? Measure AD. You have to measure AD. After measure AD, hence calculate the area. So kutumia ukiwa unatumia hiyo measurement ya AD, calculate the area of triangle. So measurement of AD ilikuwa nini? Si ilikuwa height. So you have to use half base times height. So kama utatumia half base times height, kuna kitu utapata. Hata kama answer ni the right, hakuna kitu utapata. So huyu ametumia half AB sin theta, hakuna kitu atapata, atakosa. So huyu pia amejifanya ati yako hero, ametumia heroes formula, kumba atakosa ta yeye. So let's go to statistic. A statistic is the masses in kilogram of patient who attended clinic. So umepatiwa swali imekuuliza nini? Class of that 5 to that 9, starting with the class that 5 to that 9, make a frequency distribution table for the data. Draw a histogram and draw the frequency polygon to represent the data. So statistic, you can just unachukua tu class that 5 to that 9, then unaandika nini? Frequency 2. So hii tile unaweza ruka, ina shida, lakini ni mzuri student atumie kwa sababu ina minimize the error. So it minimizes the error. To draw, ukisikia to draw, swali simetuambia draw. Draw inamaanisha tumia ruler, use ruler. Use ruler. So let's go to histogram. Histogram, it is tested in 3 ways. Number 1, histogram that not start with 0, histogram that starts 0, and histogram with a not equal class width. So class not start with 0. For example, kama it start with 0, unachora in 2 ways. For example, hii inaanza 30 to 39, 40 to 49, ianze 0. So you can start with the horizontal axis at the lower class limit. So ona hii horizontal axis, graph inafaa ichoro hivi, sio? Graph inafaa ichoro hivyo. So hii horizontal axis sasa unaweza anza na the lower class limit. For example, kama ni hapa ni 30, sio? Lower class limit yake ni gani? 29.5. So unaweza anza na 29.5. Then hizo zingine zote inakuwa nini? Upper class limit. Hizo zingine zitakuwa nini? 39.5, 49.5, 59.5, 69.5, 79.5. Unachora hivyo. Then hasa hii side ya vertical axis. Vertical axis it's up to you. You can use frequency, if frequency to number of student 10, 14 hivi, ama you can use frequency density against upper class limit. Haina shida. You can use any of it. So it's up to you. Look at this. So for example, hii tumetumia frequency density. Frequency density na hii ni mass. So the mass ona tumeanza na 34.5, 44.5, 54.5 hivyo. Ama unaweza tumia aje? For example, kama umetumia frequency. Kama umetumia frequency, normal frequency, unatumia nini? You can break hii zigzag line. Unatumia tu hii zigzag line na iende hivyo vizuri. Classes start with 0. Kama inaanza 0, ni simple. Just to horizontal axis unaweka 0 na hiyo una plot na frequency. So just to plot the frequency against the upper class limit. Upper class limit tu, hakuna kitu kingine. Upper class limit hakuna kitu kingine. So saizi upper class limit yetu hapa ni 10, ingine ni 20, ingine ni 30, ingine ni 40, ingine ni 50. So unatumia hivyo. Angalia 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So unatumia nini? Tumia hivyo. So histogram ni class size kama iko uniform. Siku hizi kwanza hizi swali ya class iko uniform ndio wana test sana. Sijui kama umeona iko ngumu kidogo. Lakini sio ngumu, ni rahisi sana. So you start with the horizontal axis at the lower class limit. So unaanza na horizontal axis lower class limit. For example, hapa ni 40, sio? Na hii ni so hii ya kwanza ni 39.5, sio? So unaanza na 39.5 at the lower class limit of the first class. Plot the frequency density. Sasa at this time you cannot use frequency because kwa sababu gani? Because frequency is not the same. So we use to make frequency because class width. Class width is not the same. So you can only use frequency density against the upper class. Nimekuambia kama the class width iko the same, you plot the frequency density against the upper class. Frequency polygon. For frequency polygon, create a class before the first class whose size is the same as the first class. Create another after the class whose size is the same as that of the last class. The frequency of the created class is 0. What do I mean? I mean like this. For example, hii ilikuwa naanza that 5 to that 9, si hivyo? Ilikuwa inaishia ni 75 to 79. Si ilikuwa inaishia hivyo? Yes. So I create a class before this. Na hiyo class na create lazima ikue same with the first class, hii class ya that 5 to that 9. For example, angalia that 5 to that 9 ni ngapi? That 9 minus that 5 ni 4, sio? Na hii ni that 4 minus that ni ngapi? 4. So iko na the same width. Sasa hii unajua hii ni kitu sahihi tumecreate, so frequency yake ni 0. Pia huko nyuma sasa una create likewise na hiyo frequency yake ni 0. Kwa sababu gani? Kwa sababu na create hivyo kwa sababu frequency polygon, as the name suggests itself, polygon tulikuwa nasema nini? Polygon is a plane figure embedded with lines. So lazima hiyo line ikue, that's why polygon inaanza na triangle. Angalia iko closed, lazima ikuwe enclosed with lines. Rectangle. Ona, so all of it must be. So angalia sasa kama graph yetu sasa tumechora hivi. So hii inaanza ngapi? Inaanza 2 na inaishia 1. So ingeanza hapa 2, ingeanza 2 na ingeishia 1. So ona hii just like V2 haina maana. Yaani hatuwezi sema hii ni polygon. Na hii lakini polygon inafaa iishie hapa. Inafaa iishie kwa lines. Lazima ikuwe closed, yani ikuwe closed hapa katikati, ikuwe closed. Hiyo tutafika. Plot a frequency against midpoint. You have to plot frequency against midpoint. Join the point with a straight line. So you just join the and B, very common mistake. You cannot plot or draw a frequency polygon on a frequency density axis. So frequency polygon, tuseme uko na frequency density hapa. Frequency density hii side. Kuna frequency density hii side. Then hapo kuwe na masses. So ati uwezi chora at frequency density hapa sasa. Uwezi chora frequency density. Uwezi. So frequency wakati unachora frequency polygon lazima hii side ikuwe nini? Ikuwe frequency, not frequency density. Look at this. Hii ni frequency, yani hizi chini ni masses. So ile nilikuwa nakwambia sasa hii ya 29.5 ile tulicreate, hii pia ni ile tulicreate iko na 0. So inatusaidia sasa na inakuwa graph yetu smart. Trigonometric graph. Complete the table to the number of the decimal places indicated by the examiner. To get the amplitude, draw the line showing the mean of the position. What do I mean? Complete the table. For example, umepatiwa swali for y 1 is equals to 1 plus 3 sin x correct to 1 decimal places. So umepewa hiyo? Yes, umepewa hiyo. So the black inamaanisha ni ya examiner. Umeweka 1 na hapa ametuweka 3.6. The moment umetuwekea 3.6 inamaanisha nini? Inamaanisha that decimal places wakati unajaza inafaa kuwa na 1 decimal places. So umechora. Sasa tunakuuliza nini? Amplitude, sio? So amplitude unachukua tu the average of the highest and lowest. Highest ni gani? Si ni 4. Lowest ni gani? Si ni -2. So itakuwa nini? 4 plus -2. Inakuwa 4 plus -2 is 2 divided 2 itakuwa 1. So you draw a line y is equals to 1. So you draw a line. Sasa sini hii line y sini hii. So you draw sini hii ilikuwa 0 1, sio? So unachora tu a straight line from 1 naenda hivi. Line naenda hivi. So you draw a line. Hivyo tu. So umechora hivyo. So and that's the amplitude. That's the amplitude itakuwa hii katikati sasa itakuwa from 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 ni ngapi? Ni 3. So that's the amplitude. Therefore the amplitude is 3. So sometimes amplitude unaweza kupatia nini? Unaweza kupatia as a section 1 question na ukaambia nini? Given that y is equals to, ama upatie tu uko nyuma. Given that as a equation, given that y is equals to 1 minus 3 over 2 sin is equals to, so amplitude ilikuwa nini? Amplitude inafaa ikuwe 3 over 2. Amplitude 3 over 2. Sini amplitude tunachukuanga hapa 3 over 2. Lakini student akaandika 3 over 2 atakosa kwa sababu gani? 3 over 2 can never be an answer for mathematics. Iwezi kuwa answer kwa sababu gani? Because this is a improper fraction. You must change into mixed fraction. So 3 over 2 unakosa. So this is the correct answer. So for solids huwa inakujanga sana, especially section inakuja section A. Draw hidden lines using the broken lines. In case of hidden lines, tumia broken lines. Parallel lines, tumia nini? Tumia the draw parallel or solid lines. What do I mean? Umepatiwa hii figure. Given that B is complete sketch. This is the figure. So meaning that BE is a hidden line. Unaona? B is a hidden line. So hidden line unatumia nini sasa? Unatumia dotted. Unatumia dotted. Hizi zingine zote unatumia solid. Look at this. So after umechora figure yako nifai toke hivi. Unaona hii ni dotted. 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 So hizo zingine ni solid. FD solid. Nets. Wakati unaambia complete the nets. Net do not have broken lines, please. Net haina broken lines. Net do not have broken lines. Transformation. When you're doing transformation, let's look at transformation form 2. What? Transformation, unaona mwanafunzi amechora vizuri. Student draw the graph very well, ako sawa kabisa, lakini na anafahamu, lakini shida ni hakuna kitu anapata. Kwa sababu gani? Because they must have the same scale on both axes. Kama x axis umetumia 1 2 3 4, y axis tumia 1 2 3 4. X axis ukitumia 2 2 4 8 2 4 6 8, hiyo ingine tumia 2 4 6 8. They must have the same scale. Hiyo siku mbaya lazima. Also do not use broken line for images. Images usitumie, usiwahi chora for broken lines. Tumia chora full lines kama ni triangle hivyo. Label the diagram. Hiyo diagram yako lazima ikuwe label. For example, kama hii ni A, ikuwe A, hii ingine B, hii ingine C. Kama ni A prime, A prime, B prime, C prime hivyo. What do I mean sasa? Hiyo kitu sasa ya kukuwa na the same scale inatu affect aje? For example, angalia hii ni square. Tuko na the same scale. Hii 1 1, ingine ni 5 1, 1 6 1 5 and 5 5. So hii is a good square. Lakini kama scale ni tofauti, kama for example nimetumia 1 2, nimeruka box moja, na hii nyingine nimetumia box nimekaribia one after the other 1 2 3 4. Natoka aje? Natoka as triangle. So that's how it affect us. Look at emerging trend in paper in the setting of the mathematics paper. More emphasis has been placed on form 1 and form 2 work if the trend for the last 5 years is anything to go by. So hiyo ni kitu already tumepitia form 3 and form 4 topics, paper 1, matrices, sine and cosine rule, differentiation and area of approximation. So student, I highly advise you to take responsibility of your performance. Please and please don't blame any person for your performance. Take the responsibility of your performance. If you score A, that A is for you. If you score E, that E is for you. So take the responsibility of your performance. So I wish all the candidates success, and this is the end. So I really beg you for you to subscribe. You hit the subscribe button and smash the like button. Make sure remember that one like is equals to one prayer in the YouTube algorithm. Make sure you subscribe. Next week we are going to dive also how to answer paper 2, the common mistakes in paper 2. If this is helpful, comment below. Also, we have in the channel of the MKLI Digital School, we have the do's and don't when answering chemistry. Make sure that you listen that also and you take note of that. Wish you success. Meet you another time. Thank you.